I think it was pretty expected game picture in many ways that Rapid played their game and we played our game, and then it was many ways quite even game. Maybe we had a bit more control of the game in the first half. There was a bit tough moment in the beginning of the second half, but then I think we got over it quite well. I'm really happy with the performance of many players who came in. They did a lot of things right. And of course, disappointed with the result because it was an unfortunate goal. Unfortunate goal from us, like to concede a goal like that. It was not something we needed, but then we accepted, and then we will turn this around in Vienna next week.
Jani, 0-1, tufft att åka bort med det såklart, men fanns det någonting i Rapid som skrämde dig?
Well, not really. We knew the set plays are difficult. We changed actually the formation a bit, actually the positions of players, because we know that they are aiming for the front post, and they are a good set play team in many ways. So we knew that that's going to happen. We also knew that they are a good countering team. They defend low, so it's obvious if you don't attack well, there will be moments that they counter well. But we handled those quite well. The goal was coming a bit like from an unnecessary situation, which should have just played the situation a bit more clearly, but those things happen. But then, of course, it was quite easy, especially here, to push them down. But of course, it will create different kind of problems that we have to be a bit stronger in the box and try to like force ourselves a bit to the box. We had a lot of 1-against-1s on the sides, and then just missing a bit the extra thing that we get. We beat the own guy and get to the box more and make them also do mistakes over there. So that is something we have to do absolutely a bit better in Vienna. But there was overall like good adjustment for adaptation from many of the players. We quite fast in the first half. We changed. We put Toppe Gulliksen as a second holding midfielder. It was working the pressure much better after that. And we got a lot of steals, interceptions in the higher area. Couldn't exploit them like well enough. It was close calls a couple of times, but then it was just like the extra thing what was a bit missing to win this kind of game. But quite expected opponent. I'm pretty sure that they will be better next week in Vienna, but we will be also better in that game. So I think it's an open situation, and they of course they are happy with the result. But we are not afraid of this kind of situation, so we will turn this around.
Som du sa, fasta situationer hanterar ni på ett bra sätt. Kontringar får vi inte så mycket på heller, men både målet och deras friläge i första halvlek kommer när ni är på väg framåt och tappar bollen, alltså bollförlust efter bollförlust i princip. Det är den sådana situationer som du menar att vi ska hantera bättre.
Yeah, we ourselves could have been a bit more effective in our set pieces. We were like, there were so many changes. It was not like 100% sort of like clear, like where we are going to put the ball. So we have to do that a bit better. But then, yes, there's many moments like just like a simple solution would have been better. But I think many of the ball losses happened because the pitch is really difficult to play at the moment. The surface is so difficult. The ball is behaving so weirdly. So I don't know what happened, because in Malmö game it was so totally different. So it was difficult for both teams, and then even for us, because we only train here one time. But then I think both teams suffered from that a bit, like the losses of the ball. But yeah, we just have to be a bit more careful. But it's going to be like, I would say, a totally different kind of game when we go to grass next week. You have a good voice, just use it.
If it's okay for you?
Yeah, totally.
Coach, congrats. I think the first half hour was outstanding. What Djurgarden showed on the pitch and what Djurgarden showed on the atmosphere, it was amazing. And then I thought there was a moment when Rapid became the game better under control, and after the goal it was hard for us. Would you agree with me with that, or did you see it another way?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much like that. There was a moment in the beginning of, or not even totally in the beginning of the second half, but there was a moment when I think we looked a bit tired, and for some reason then we got a bit more energy after the goal, that we were starting to think about the substitutions, but we hold them for a while, but it was exactly like that. And maybe we just lose the focus a bit. It was a bit unbalanced and maybe a bit bad decisions, but then, yeah, that was pretty much the game picture.
It's only halftime. Sunday you have a derby to play, Rapid have a derby to play, and then the second leg in Vienna. What do you think now the chances for the second game in Vienna?
I think we have a good chance, and it's of course clear that Rapid will be better in their home pitch. They have their own surface, grass. We are not maybe so comfortable playing with the grass. We will for sure practice on grass before that game, so we are ready for that. And of course we've been playing also in Cyprus and then in the training camp with the grass, so it's not totally weird for us. But then it's normally a bit different kind of game when you go on grass. So that's I think the biggest challenge that we have to go overcome and be able to play our game in Vienna also. So, but there's certain aspects that we have to just like improve the connections a bit and then create a lot of threats to the final third a bit more, get a bit better solutions and decisions in the final third, and then work goal by goal. So that's how it is. The game always changes when the goals are coming in the game. So, and in the end, we always make a plan that if we need to force and chase the result, so we will do that also. But it's difficult to predict how the game will go. We have to be patient. And our game is good. Like, it will work against any team. We'll create always difficulties. And I think Rapid was quite well aware of our game. They went over with a relatively long ball and actually aiming to play to the strikers quite straight from the centre back. So that is why we have to correct the shape a bit during the game. And it was sometimes they got through it, but sometimes we intercepted the ball quite high and have to be happy. But then the action after that has to be just better against a quality team like Rapid.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Hur ser du på Jakob Rinnes prestation och vilken målvakt kommer starta på söndag?
Jakob was outstanding. I think it was his best game in this season from him. But then Jakob, we don't have an afford to lose him. So it's quite clear that Philip will start on Sunday, because if we play Jakob and then he gets injured, we have only one goalkeeper left, and we can't put ourselves in that kind of situation. So it's quite clear that Philip is going to play, and after this kind of performance, and then how Jakob plays, of course, it would be attempting to put him in, but then just have to be reasonable in that one.
Gulliksen gjorde en bra match men blev utbytt mot slutet. Varför bytte du ut honom?
Yeah, he actually asked for the change because now he experienced what is it to work with as a holding midfielder, because he had to run a lot more in that position. He always works hard, but now he has to work so much up and down. And the way he plays, because he can always bring the ball up, but then when he was playing as a second holding midfielder, so he had to work himself down, so he was just like getting so much meters under. So that's why we made the change. You never want to change his kind of player because he can always create something. So that was the only reason. But I think Isak Alimaju came in like really nicely. He was doing the same thing as he's doing in our training, and it was like could show up in that kind of moment to just come out there and do his thing, and then I'm really happy for Isak.
Har vi andra frågor? Nej? Okej.
Tack.
Kan jag ta en till bara?
Okay.
Ja, vad betyder det att få tillbaka Stensson och Tokmak till nästa vecka?
Yeah.
Vad skulle du säga att det betyder för er?
Yeah, it means a lot, of course, and then it was a strange week in general preparation for this game because we kept a lot of those players out who were not involved in this game because and we played in the training basically with our opponents that we don't get any more injuries, and so we took it really cautiously. It was not nice for the players, but we have a really wide squad on Sunday's game because everybody's in. And then, of course, then it changes then on Thursday. But then it's really important to get Stensson and Tokmak back to our team. And then, but it's like today we didn't have players, but then on Sunday we must like probably leave a couple of players out of the lineup. So we have a good situation, even though we have a couple of injuries. But then it's like I said, it's a great moment for those guys who haven't been playing so much to show up now, and I think they did a good job today. Tack.
Okej, tack så mycket. Tack.
Thank you guys.
Sportclub Rapid